Video. It's what I do.
I know. For many, many years.
For many years.
And you posted it.
Brittany and Ashley. They were ready. They were. I love it. I love that. Yeah, just like that.
We've been doing this for years.
Oh, my legs, I got
Look at Bruce's Facebook page.
Hey, Alex. Smell deep.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming, and it was brought to my attention that some people were needed to leave, and when the moment was going to be for us to sort of sojourn and specifically talk about Bruce. That's why we all sort of came back here. I don't know if everybody saw the setup in the back at Bruce's chair. So, even though we're doing this right now, it'd be also great, I think, for prosperity's sake to get, individual recollections that you want to be on tape and to send to some of his family that could be here. And there's a lot of people who sent warm regards from all over the world, to be honest with you, to come here. So before we start, I did want to say a special thanks to our chairwoman, Dorit Veer, who
Very much so.
worked, and Maria and Juan, I don't know where they are, who absolutely worked their butts off.
That's gonna be the quiz one.
Yeah, exactly. But who worked, there's a lot of people who, sort of volunteered. Chris was on that committee, Chris Cathcart, and there's people who worked on things. To sort of pull this all, together. And if you saw what this place looked like 24 hours ago, there would be zero compliments on this space. So really, a lot of thanks, sort of all around the room, and everybody, and most importantly, everybody for your presence. Bruce, even though it was intentionally a really small room, if we didn't do a blast on his Facebook page, everybody knows Bruce knew people in every walk of life, every corner of the, famous to the guy at 7-Eleven, all knew Bruce by name. So we had so many friends. There were, again, a ton of people who wanted to be here. So anyway, I just want to open up to anybody wants to, share anything about Bruce while we're in this sort of group setting. I know several of us, including myself, weren't able to get to the service that his family put together. It was just wonderful.
Very nice. I was over there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And so
I'll start. I met Bruce in met Bruce in the Motown days. Actually met him when I went to my first day, I think it was, working for Steve at Motown on Sunset Boulevard. And he was one of the first people that I met. At that time, I think he was, I want to say he was in the mailroom at Motown. But I was super nervous. I just moved here from Chicago. I was supposed to come out and take a position at Motown, but delayed, and they ended up filling the position, and I remember being real upset about it. And Bruce was one of the people that talked to me and said, hey, listen, man, just intern a little while, things will open up, things will be cool. My name is Bruce, if you need anything, he was just like the guy that the first person, everyone else, it was the big companies, everyone else was pretty much like corporate and, on that corporate thing. But Bruce was just on a real human thing. And I remember never forgetting that. And years later, when I came to work at Hidden Beach, it was just an amazing feeling to see the first person that greets me when I walked in at Hidden Beach was Bruce. This brother that made me feel so comfortable when I was at Motown as an intern. So, and then from there, it just, Bruce, it didn't matter what the situation was, no matter how tough it was, he'd always have something encouraging to say, and always extended a hand to help. Not just like say, hey, listen, yeah, it'll be all right. It was like, hey man, JT, what can I do? What do you need? That was always his first question when I walked in the morning. JT, you cool? You need anything? What you need? Yeah. And it wasn't even like I needed anything. It was just, that was his way of dealing with people. I would watch people that, like he was my line of defense too at Hidden Beach. I was in a creative role there, so it was a lot of people that would come in and try and have you listen to demos, and he'd be like screening, like, hey JT, do you know so-and-so? No, you don't know him? All right, I'll handle it for you. This and it. It was like he just knew how to deal with people. Whatever you needed, he asserted himself and made sure that he helped you with it. It was just that simple. And to this day, there are probably only two people in my life that I really knew like that. And the other was another person at Hidden Beach, and that was Charles Whitfield. Wow. So, but Bruce and Charles were those two that no matter what. So it's ironic that I would meet both of those people in my life at Hidden Beach. So, but Bruce, love you, miss you much, brother. And you don't know what you meant to me in my life. Rest easy. Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Well said. Beautiful.
Just like he said, Bruce was the first one to open up to me. First 1 or 2 days in Motown, intern. I'm just trying to be down, what can I do? Answer phones, Bruce, what you need, He was the first one that was real to me, like he said. Everybody was on that, holier than thou attitude. You knock on the door, somebody may not even look at you, they may not even speak to you because they don't know you. But Bruce was real. He opened up to me. Then outside of Motown, we go hang out. The 6-4 block. Anybody know what that means? Yeah. So I got to live both sides with them, see the real, and the corporate side of Bruce. And he showed me how to put some money in my pocket. I ain't telling y'all all those things. Yeah, he was the first real person that didn't put on no airs. We could go to anything, everything, and it was like your name was on the list wherever you went. We just walk in together. Show the logo on the back of the jacket, and we walk through. And we still hang out, we bike ride. It's hard to believe this is the reason we're here, but I just talked to him like 2 weeks before. I sent him some herbs and things, and he had COVID, and he said, oh, I'm great. I still got the text. Afraid to look at it. He said, no, I'm great. I'm feeling good. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, wait a minute. You said you was, and I sent you the herbs. They worked, didn't they? So still hard to believe. That's my man. You right? That's it.
I thought I was the only one who said what you need to. I thought it was just for me. Hey T, where you at? What you need? What you need? Tiana, what you need? He used to say that all the time. I remember Motown. I was, because Steve is my oldest friend, you know, in the world. I thought, because, like Gerald mentioned, Hollywood and LA was full of people wanting something, so he had a different presence. So I knew him from there, but he was like very, very mild and very laid back. And then you see him all the time and he doesn't change. And he pulls you in that way. He makes you liking him. He makes you feel better about yourself. And same thing, when he said what you need, he actually meant it.
Yeah.
He actually did what it is that you needed.
Yeah.
He actually did what was needed, you know, at all times. He actually followed through, which is not an LA thing at all. And you know, we talked about music, we talked about work, we talked about sport. You know, he gave me a pep talk about my French national team not winning against Italy in the final World Cup. He made me lift my head up. We talked about the Lakers and bikes, you know, because we love riding, and I regret not having taken the time to go and ride with him. So it's hard to lose people in your life, because they mean something in your world, and now it's no longer there. So you lost that. We still have wonderful people in memory and stuff, and it makes me want to live a fuller life, because I met him.
And I suck.
You're sweet.
It's amazing how Bruce got along with everybody, basically, all sort of, like I mentioned before, walks of life. And, you know, Ernie was telling me his nickname was Million, or Millions, because he knew all the celebrities and everything in the neighborhood. But we never always were surprised on, like, I used to pull Bruce, even though he started off as the receptionist. We were small, very small shop, so I think everybody got in with kind of brainstorm time or sit down time to, you know, come in and want to hear your thoughts. And so Bruce, I can point to a bunch of things, all the way to our Guardians of Soul project, what I think was his name for but he started off fairly quiet on, you know, participating in that stuff, and then as Alex can attest to, was always sort of the first to, you know, sort of throw out ideas. And the funniest thing is sometimes it was like, oh, we can get so-and-so person. Like, oh, how do we get in touch with him? And Bruce was like, oh, I know him, that's my, you know, I've got the telephone number, I've got the, oh, you know, whether it's the DJ or the, you know, somebody on Instagram or somebody runs the Taste of Soul or X1Z, Bruce. But the thing I always laugh about, and our joke that we used to always tell, is because Bruce, sitting at especially in the Santa Monica office, he'd sit at the reception desk. And so he was the first person that everybody met. And his first person that greeted, and actually had a real, Bruce and my dog at that time, Miles, were sort of the greeters, you know, inside that. And sometimes I'd be waiting for people to come back for an appointment. I thought I'd go out to look, and they're hanging out, even though we'd been, sort of come on back for a meeting, hanging out and sort of yapping away with Bruce. But what we kept laughing about is that friend who kept calling, he would always be on the phone, and especially if long, he would start yelling back and start to become friends with people over the phone that he never met. And he say that you get on the phone with one friend, you always tell him, oh, he's really cool, we talked to 5 or 10 minutes. But he used to always scream back, your friend Baduke is on the phone. And I'm like, who the hell do we have to go through this all the time? Friend Baduke, and then Baduke would call back, and they'd be on the phone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, talking.
Are not responding.
Yeah, talking about basketball or talking about something else, and then next time you say Boondink or this whatever name, and I remember having to correct him at least 10 times. His name is Barack. His name is Barack. But they had this relationship which was hilarious, from calling. So when we finally did the first event, in fact, I have to get the pictures of Bruce at the very first event for when Barack Obama was running for Senate. Right. So people didn't really know him at that, especially in those Baduke times. Bruce was there and greeting, and I'm pretty sure we got some pictures together. But they had, just like he developed relationships there, he had a relationship with obviously as things accelerated, that and everybody got to pronounce his name right, and I would always say, but Duke's on the phone. But Duke is president of the United States, but he had that, to me, I think, way about him across the board with everybody.
Wow, what a story. Woo-hoo.
We go off and call him
But dude.
Bruce taught me the value of being the receptionist, because being at Motown, you just kind of fit in, jump in when you fit in. And if the receptionist want to go to lunch, all right, I got it. Because you get to know everybody.
Yeah.
You're the gatekeeper. And people began to love my voice. And, ooh, that guy was so professional. Who was that? I'm like, that was David. Oh, okay. So now you know